Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. Oh, you know what? The video doesn't look, oh, there we go. It's better now. Okay, so let's go right into this. I know that we have the weekend coming up and it looks like the color's a little bit off, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So the bottom line is this. We are dealing with lots of different programs in the modern era of being a human in America, okay? But I want to go into specifically, and a lot of people have asked me, and even people have sent me emails and write-ups and how I should approach it and how I should go on there and things like that for Twitter. And this is why I have not posted things on Twitter. And let me see if I can get that light to be adjusted a little bit. Does that help? Let me see. Yeah, it helps a little bit. Okay, perfect. So the problem we kind of run into with Twitter is that there's a lot of things going on there that is not okay. Okay, very different than YouTube, very different than other posting areas as well. And I'd like you to ask yourself at the beginning of this particular video whether you believe that this is a smart choice for me to not go onto Twitter, or whether it's incredibly stupid. Many will say it's stupid, but by the end of this video, perhaps you will join me in my understanding of what Twitter actually is. Twitter is basically what Meta intends to become. As you know, Facebook going into the digital realm, creating an online digital interface, goggles, the whole spiel for you to essentially be able to become a digital version of yourself, a digital manipulation. A lot of people are on Twitter, but not anywhere near as many as you think. Unfortunately, I have access to court documents and the docket system and the rulings that many of you do not. Inherent in that, I get to see more of the truth than you do, that we get, that we have as a result of our court system, making findings, having decisions and adjudications. Twitter is suppressing speech beyond what our Constitution allows. They use nonprofits as weapons instead of beacons of good. They allow corrupt politicians to stay in power. Could have been canceled as a bipartisan effort. There have been multiple arrests at high levels related to election fraud that you will never be able to access on that website. You can't access it on CNN, and you can't even access it on Fox News. But you guys don't really get to see that stuff because the court records have no news channel that reaches you. There's no way for that information to actually get to you. We need to create a court system news channel on a legacy news station level. That's incredibly important. Fox News and CNN cover what they want. If you think you're getting what's relevant, then I can assure you that you're only hearing what is relevant to their own political party. When attorneys and doctors explain their research, if it goes against the Twitter shadow policy, it is eradicated, modified, and funneled elsewhere. These are all things that fundamentally create fraud, misrepresentations, and abuse. They're all tactics that are shared by murderers, rape profiteers, and drug dealers. But Twitter is something that these groups do not. Twitter has a digital army, like China, that creates massive search engine, optimized misinformation through computer-generated user accounts. These fake accounts are just as active or non-active as your account. They study you to make your fake things, to make their fake things seem like real things. The difference is that the supercomputers can have them measure your actions and then commit to similar output with an agenda. During the first International War Crime Tribunal, which we all know as the Nuremberg trial, they had a problem. It was a big problem. It was actually a massively huge problem, not just in the immediate sense, but in like a longer longitudinal sense. My people, the Jewish bloodline, had a system of laws, none of which actually apply to the atrocities at that level, right? We didn't have the laws for it. They did the hard thing. They did the heavy lifting to invent a new way to adjudicate the mass murders of World War II. Do we have laws today that are adequate for adjudicating Twitter for massive fraudulent manipulation of their users? Correct answer is no. We are closer than we were just after World War II, but not there yet. Twitter is good at making people with purple hair feel like they're winning and that they belong. This isn't a bad thing. But as good as it is, there are others who are excluded as a result of Twitter bias. The truth is that gay, lesbian, native, minority, and majority rights are all human rights. Just because they don't fit into the original algorithm of what made America America is a perfect example of how America excluded people purely because of a cultural choice. America started as a country of it's either us or them. It still is that today to some degree. America started as a country where one group of people built forts with the intention of growing in size to dominate what lived around them. America has always been a war machine. Gays, lesbians, natives, and others did not fit into building better weapons, birthing more soldiers, building more bases. That just wasn't in their culture. And since their culture and genetics were different, they were damned as deficient. Think about that. Native Americans would war with each other, and then the Spaniards and the Europeans came. These aliens on their lands. That's why we call a group of natives natives. That is because they evolved on that land, and as far as humans go back, through their genetic varieties, we know that God placed them there, allowed them to grow, and allowed them to war. War is unfortunately the fastest means of evolution on this planet. It takes a gene pool and presses the delete and edit button many times. When humans live in extreme fear, they change genetically. When people are killed, their genes do not pass on. When a virus, whether from the dug-up depths of the sea, a recently overturned rock, or a lab come to willing genetic hosts, a war is being fought, even though it at first appears to have no flag behind it. Everything on this earth was created to fight for its survival. Everything on this earth was created to survive most battles. Twitter is unfortunately a disease that clouds the mind by manipulating opposing thoughts and actions. Twitter wants one side to win, and unfortunately, it's never been yours. The mere fact that Twitter needs an army of fake accounts tells you how unimportant it actually is. It tells you how weak and tiny its intended use actually is. Without those fake accounts, its manipulation of its users would be far less important, and therefore far less used. This is because a town square, the gossip of the town, is supposed to be ignored by the town's people. It is supposed to be powerless, for gossip is what sinks ships, and damn it, we know better. Look, this is how the system is supposed to work. Opposing ideas with the intention of doing what's best in the long run for everybody, it's a battle. It's a battle between different ideas, and then people vote on what they want, and the result becomes the law and the culture of the land. Well, you can manipulate the people, you can manipulate the voting system, and you can manipulate the culture that results. That's it. When people say, oh, how could I ever stand up against the government or the council or the HOA? That's it. That's how they got your brain to think like that. They only had to manipulate those three things. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. All the power in the world can only manipulate those three things: the people, the vote, and the resulting culture. So the next time you sit there, the next time you feel your breath, you feel the breath of Twitter, the breath of YouTube or Facebook or whatever on your neck, just remember, you are a warrior, just like your parents and grandparents before you. Do you know what you believe in? Or do you need Fox and CNN to tell you? What about Twitter's army of user robots that are screaming quietly at you? Remember, people, you can either manipulate the human, their vote, or their culture, or do all three, because that's what they're doing now. For this reason, Twitter, a war machine for wide-scale imbalance and therefore injustice through their manipulation tactics, would try and succeed at silencing me. This is why I don't go on there. It would find ways to leave fake one-star reviews, cancel me on different broadcast platforms, and financially ruin me. What people don't realize is that the following mathematical equation for a population's enslavement is real and is used. You can't have all votes be fake robot votes. You just can't. Okay? The people will riot. You need a small fraction of the real people to be culturally manipulated enough to believe in lies. This confuses the majority with how large that small group is. Like, how big is it? How many people are in it? Because when something becomes law, the large group is frustrated but feels defeated by real people with real beliefs. This is how you make 10% of the population outvote 90% and not have a riot occur. It's actually quite simple. You get fake user accounts to upvote ideas, which makes them seem like they are both commonplace and the will of the majority, which is, it's hard to believe, but you can make the minority the massive vote of the majority. And the minority could be anything. It can be people who believe the earth is flat. It could be people who essentially believe that space travel is wrong. And this is how to enslave people, by taking away their free will. That's how you do it. It's terrible. Think of it this way: the largest town square is another way of saying the largest area for gossip to manipulate people. The Rings of Power from Amazon, the huge series they just put out, had a movie scene where people in a town square got all riled up. That is because the town square is not meant for ideas to be fought over. The court system and the legislative bodies and the town halls are where ideas are meant to be fought over. Do you trust your town square to lead you? Do your parents trust your town square? Put another way, would you trust your town square to lead your children? I hope we have come to an understanding on why Twitter and Walter are not good bedfellows. My idea is to support Americans raise the bar of their living and support a land where the people lead through living and not live through kneeling. Wow, Linda Soda, thank you for the $4.99 donation. I really love it. I especially love the old school NES little controller there. Love it. I really love it. One final thought during November. Your voice is the loudest thing that you have other than your actions. And I need you to understand this. There are many great politicians out there on both sides of the fence. The bullet points coming out of their mouths were written for them. They were. So do me a favor, when assessing who you will click or fill in the dot for, right, when you'll vote. Just do me this favor. Where did their money come from? How have they voted in the past? How does their spouse vote? And are they future-thinking individuals? Enjoy your weekend and do something positive today, even if it isn't for yourself. Also, I know this channel isn't as popular as it likely should be compared to the stimulus and benefit boost. Coming tomorrow, those types of channels that lie about what's going on. Think about who controls that. Think about why that is. Enjoy, and all the best, guys. I'll catch you a little bit later. I might do another video. Obviously, I didn't sleep well. I woke up, but I've got to do a million things outside today. I will catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.